I thought I would do a live because it's been a while and I used to enjoy doing these and then I stopped and I don't really know why. Um, we have new software. So as part, oh, hello. No, that's the wrong button. We have new software. So part of this is testing the new software as well, just to see how that works, because I want to see how live streaming works on this as well. But for those of you who may not have met me, I am live over on TikTok over there. I'm trying TikTok for the first time as well, which terrifies me because I have never used TikTok to go live before. So hi if you're watching on TikTok, but also I'm going live on YouTube and Facebook. Fingers crossed, hopefully, if this is working. But if we haven't met before, my name's Kira and I'm an independent travel agent specializing in all things cruise, Disney, and North America. But we do sell everything and anything as well. Our biggest passion, I guess, is cruise holidays and Disney. That's what we're known for. We've won awards, which is a bit of a humble brag, but they're on the shelf behind me. You can't see on Facebook because I've got a virtual background. So I'm really, really proud of that. But it's a bit of a funny year this year type of thing. Things are a bit different. Normally in the past, you could normally set your calendar by the cruise, that by the kind of travel calendar. You can kind of work out what was going on and what was going to sell, what was going to be positive, what was not going to be positive. Whereas this year, it's all a little bit uncertain and it's really difficult to kind of know exactly what's popular with customers and what's not popular with customers. Also, as well, what you're finding is there's a lot more last minute availability than ever before as well, which I think is quite interesting. There's a lot of debates in the industry about why that is and what would be causing that. And obviously, a big factor of that is going to be to do with obviously the political turmoil that's happening. There's no getting around it. And I think it's better just to kind of talk about it rather than pretend it's not a thing. But obviously, with what's going on in America, with the change of political leadership over there and the economic impact that's having as well as what's happening here in the UK as well, there's no denying the fact that our politics have also got kind of a little bit more heated. Sorry, I'm just cleaning my camera because I've just realized how blurry I am. There we go. That explains why the colour's all washed out. So the political landscape over here as well in the UK is a little bit more complicated. So there's a lot of like uncertainty about kind of how people's money is going to be, which is causing a lot of holidays to still actually be available, which very rarely do we have inventory, which is what we call in the industry, available at this time of the year. So for those people who are looking to kind of book a cruise or book a holiday, there's usually kind of a lot of the rooms are sold out, especially for those family suites and family cabins and swim up rooms and things like that. Now, it's still limited, but it is still available. So if you are looking to get away this year, then you can still find holidays available type of thing for the last minute summer holidays. I know Jet2 Holidays have just gone out with a new promotion, and so have EasyJet Holidays as well. So if you are looking to get away this summer, there is definitely still availability for you if you are interested in getting away. Same with cruise cabins as well. There are actually cruise cabins available. It is depending on the brand, destination, region, all that type of stuff, but there are still cruise cabins available if you are interested in getting away. And the prices have held as well. Normally what happens in the past is last minute prices kind of shoot up basically as there's limited availability, especially this time of the year as well for summer holidays, but they've kind of held their ground at the moment. So again, if you are looking to go away this summer and you want to do a cruise holiday or you want to do a package holiday, there's definitely still availability at the moment as well if you are looking to do that. I can help you with that. I haven't set any of this up with any kind of call to actions or things like that, but basically you can hunt me down anywhere under magical-traveler.com or hello@magical-traveler.com. That's my social media and websites. So you can have a little look around that if you wanted to and just get a feel for what we have to offer. We specialize in cruise, that's the main thing. And I think if we were going to talk about what's been our most popular cruises in the last month, so I was going to do a bit of I was going to make cue cards to keep me on track because I know what I'm like. But what's been popular the last month, we specialize in Virgin Voyages, I think, and premium cruising. So Virgin Voyages has been incredibly popular this month for us. We've had a number of group bookings. We've also had a lot of individual cabin bookings. And they're kind of two poles apart, basically. There are a lot of last minute bookings. So people looking to get away this month and next month as Virgin Voyages are kind of sailing from the UK. So Scarlet Lady arrived into Portsmouth a few days ago, basically. So she's doing a couple of short sailings. I say short. The shortest this year is 6 nights. So she's doing a couple of shorter stints around kind of the English Channel, Northern Europe territories, and then she's then going off to Iceland. Actually, at the moment, she's going to Iceland and then coming back to Iceland, which is quite exciting for our sailors who are on board at the moment with Scarlet Lady. And then she's coming back, sorry, at the end of that, and then she's doing her comedy festival, and then she's doing a 6-nighter around the English Channel channel as well. So there's some really great sailings. There's limited availability on them. The prices aren't going to be kind of the best prices, but you're going to have better cabins. I was just looking for a customer now. The Comedy Festival, which is the 30th of August, is currently available with some lock-in rate sea terraces. So they are going to be slightly limited view balcony cabins. They're still available, as well as some central sea terraces as well. So there's prime central sea terraces, which are great. They're still available as well. Big one as well, the last month that's been popular for us is Disney Cruise Line. It's something we've been focusing on quite a lot, is to try and kind of improve our Disney Cruise Line business. We love Disney. Like, we sailed our first ever cruise with Disney Cruise Line. Our honeymoon was with Disney Cruise Line. So we love them. They're great. They're fantastic. And they're doing this year and also next summer as well, they're doing a series of short sailings from the UK. Again, these are going to be, I think they're 3, 4, and 5 nights off the top of my head. There may be a couple of 6-nighters in there. I can't remember, sorry, without checking my notes. But basically, that's going to be this year, the Disney Fantasy, which is really exciting. And then next year is going to be the Disney Magic. They're sister ships. Layout wise, they're pretty identical, so there's no point in kind of going, oh, I prefer the Dream or the Fantasy. Hardcore fans do have favorites, but like the core venues, the eateries, the cabins, and the layout are all the same basically on those two ships. But they're going to be sailing from the UK now this year and next year in the summer months, so kind of late July into early September. We're going to have a series of sailings. The ones that have been popular for us have actually been the Norwegian fjords. So Disney have actually dropped the price on the Norwegian fjords, the British Isles, and the Bay of Biscay sailings on Disney Cruise Line for this year. So if you're interested in sailing with Disney and you want to do a longer sailing, these are in September. So if you've got kids, they're probably not going to be ideal. But if you are interested in sailing Disney for the first time and wondering what it's all about, there are some fantastic prices, like couples prices going to the Norwegian fjords with Disney for just shy of £3,000, or just over £3,000 at this point. But again, there's an English British Isles one, sorry, going around the UK, and there's also a Bay of Biscay, as we call it, so La Coruna, Bilbao, and things like that. But Disney Cruise Line is incredible. There's lots of content on the website. I don't want to make this all about Disney Cruise Line, but they are fantastic, and these are some of the best prices I've seen for these UK sailings with Disney in such a long time. I haven't looked at prices for next year. I haven't been keeping an eye on them to see kind of how good next year's prices are, but there are some sailings next year as well with Disney if you are interested in trying Disney Cruise Line from the UK. The short sailings are going to be the most popular ones. They are close to selling out this year, so my advice is, if it's something you're thinking of doing next year, don't wait for last minute availability. This year is a bit unique. Next year is already filling up. What's happening is people are either waiting and holding out at the very last hurdle, which this year there is limited summer availability. However, next year is booking up faster than ever. People are kind of putting off holidays this year, or big ticket holidays this year, and they're booking for next year instead. So that's something to keep an eye on, basically. If you are thinking of doing something and you've got your heart set on doing a bucket list trip or something a bit special next year, definitely get in sooner rather than later, just because people seem to be kind of putting off holidays this year. It seems to have been a bit of a muted holiday year this year, where people are looking at last minute bargains. And then next year is where people are really going back to their usual holiday pattern, basically, and going to their firm favourites. So that's a bit of a what's happening in the industry type of thing. The other thing as well I wanted to chat about is what is popular at the moment for kind of next year. What are people looking to do? And we're seeing this big rise in, I wouldn't quite call them bucket list holidays, but people are, our customers anyway, have always gone to kind of like Disney. They've gone and cruised from Miami and places like that, and they've always been incredibly popular, and we are still selling and booking people to go to those destinations. But what I will say we've seen the biggest trend is Asia. And I will say Asia, we've booked more people going to kind of the opposite direction to America, so over to Asia, Indonesia, Thailand, China, Japan. More demand than ever before. And I think a lot of it is value for money as well. So the cost of getting to America has gone through the roof, and obviously Trump keeps announcing these new announcements of kind of like ESTA prices are going to go up, and the cost of living is going up in America. So even though the dollar is now better value against the UK pound, so that's great for people who go regularly, the cost of everything which you are in America is also higher as well. So there's a bit of a catch-22 at the moment with what's happening with regards to pricing, at least anywhere on holidays in America. So when you're going over there, yes, okay, the exchange rate's better, but things are costing more than they've ever cost. So a lot of our customers are looking at, or in early stage of thinking, going over to Asia instead. The most popular one obviously is going to be Japan. Tokyo Disney is really popular. You've got Universal Osaka as well, incredibly popular at the moment with a lot of our customers. So kind of a lot of people are heading over that coast instead and looking to do that. And we've been on and off looking at a few different options for customers type of thing to look and go in Tokyo Disney and places like that. There's also as well Hong Kong, surprisingly. Hong Kong is incredibly popular. So you got Hong Kong Disney, people are going there as well. It's a bit easier to get to kind of with visas and things like that as well. So there's a really great flight option with Cathay Pacific. One that we looked at personally doing before we changed our mind for the fifth time this year was to go via Hong Kong with Cathay Pacific, visit Hong Kong Disney, spend a couple of days there, and then going on to Tokyo. Not necessarily Tokyo, but we were going to go to Osaka and then train from Osaka to Tokyo. But there's a really lovely route that's quite easy to do, long haul, but quite easy to do, to kind of fly from the UK to Hong Kong, visit Hong Kong Disney and explore that region, and then go on over to Japan, whether you wanted to go to kind of Osaka and explore kind of the old capital, or whether you wanted to go to Tokyo and do kind of the new capital and the urban metropolis that Tokyo is and what it's famous for, and then obviously visit the two different Disney parks, Hong Kong Disneyland and Tokyo Disneyland as well. They're incredibly popular because the exchange rate's in our favor, but also as well the cost of living and the value for money is a lot higher for the Asia Disney parks than there is currently going over to kind of the American Disney parks. So that's something we're getting a lot of kind of early whispers on. We're speaking to a lot of colleagues of ours who also specialize in Disney, and they're seeing that's the trend as well. And the big one as well, and something that's really just starting to kind of pick up momentum, is Royal Caribbean as well. They have a ship sailing as well, doing multiple sailings all year round. I don't have the details to hand. I probably should have got them, sorry, but you have Royal Caribbean have got one of their Quantum class ships. So they're really kind of technologically advanced ships that have surf simulators on board, and they have dodgems on board. They have the North Star, which is like a giant viewing platform that takes you overlooking kind of the panorama views of the ocean. She's doing a number of shorter sailings, so kind of like 4 or 5 night sailings, going from kind of Shanghai, Singapore, or Hong Kong, going over and doing different itineraries. She's going kind of back and forth shuttle services, but she's doing different ports in Japan, or she's going over to Korea and places like that as well. There's a couple of itineraries that go over to like Vietnam and places like that as well. So it's really, really great if you wanted to go and explore maybe and do a bit of a land break beforehand, and then stay on, or maybe go on a cruise and maybe go off and explore Japan and then go back to Hong Kong to make it so you're only doing one kind of flight back and forth type of thing. So that's a really good option, and we're seeing a lot of demand and interest in that type of holiday as well. So just having a look, because on when I was using StreamYard, I could see the comments on the chat, and I have no idea if anyone's actually asking any questions, or even if this has gone out live on Facebook, because this is my first time using Riverside to do lives, so I have no idea what's happening. I'm hoping this is on my Facebook. I don't think it is. I think I'm talking to myself, because I don't think this has actually gone out on my Facebook, which is incredibly annoying. It says it has, but nothing's going on. So there we are. If you're watching on TikTok, I can see you on TikTok at least anyway, but I don't think this has actually made it out to my Facebook. So I may have to look into what's gone on there and why that's happened. But yeah, if you've got any questions and you're interested in kind of what's going on, we are a UK travel agent. We do specialize more in cruise and Disney. So if you've got any questions about Disney, about what's going on, what's happening, what's working, what's not working, or anything like that, by all means, feel free to ask. If I don't know the answer, I'll pretend I do and come up with something. But that was kind of the primary thing. I just wanted to say as well, for like our regular customers, we've had our best year ever so far, and I'm quite kind of humbled by that as well. The fact that this year has gone so well. You kind of plan for this stuff and you pray for this to happen. You kind of sit there when you're creating a business and you kind of go and like, fingers crossed one day this will become successful. And it took a long time. It really did feel like a long time. We started our business, for those that don't know, about 6 months before COVID, and it was tough. It was really hard to lose. Quite literally overnight, we lost 50 to 60% of our business overnight during COVID, and we didn't recover for 2 years. So for 2 years, we struggled to get by. Ultimately, we had other businesses that at the time failed because of COVID as well. And we persevered with the travel business, mainly because it was new and we wanted to make it work, and it was our long-term plan anyway. So we kind of kept out and held out for it. And it's only now that it finally feels like, oh my God, wow, okay, it all paid off. And it's been 5 years since we set up the business, to kind of be in the situation now whereby, and this sounds egotistical and it's not, but to be a multi-award winning travel agency with hundreds of customers, and to be winning awards as well from cruise lines. Like, we've won an award directly from Virgin Voyages as a first mate champion. We won the Wave Award for Best Independent. We won Cruise Booker for the My Booking Rewards in January as well. So I never thought I would be in a situation where I would be an award-winning travel agent. And this sounds really egotistical, but I'm now a multi-award winning travel agent. But I think the best thing about it is not only are kind of the brands recognizing it and people who work in the industry kind of like training boards and people like that. My booking rewards basically is like a training board that recognizes or works with travel agents to bring product updates and knowledge to you. They do training events and things like that. And we log our bookings with them every day to show kind of who we're booking and what we're booking. And they recognized us in, I can't remember when it was. It was for what they call it the Peaks Performance Award, basically. So Peaks is the first couple of months of the year, and we won top cruise booker for the year. Now I know I wasn't the top seller, but whatever I did during that period, they recognized and wanted to award us as well. So that was really nice as well to get that award in. I can't remember when that was. May. Feels like it was forever ago. Hi Layla, how are you? This is so weird. I've never gone live on TikTok. This is my first time going live on TikTok. I thought I was also live on Facebook, but I've just looked and I'm not. So I'm talking to myself on Facebook. But I just thought I would kind of talk about just how the last couple of months have been. I have mentioned you, Layla. I have mentioned about Virgin Voyages and how everyone is. It's very hot at the moment, and there is still some limited availability on some of the sailings as well. If anyone's interested in getting on board, so you can definitely. I was just looking today for a customer as well. So there's a couple of cabins left if you want to do the comedy festival. Was what I mentioned. So definitely. But yeah, if you guys are ever interested in learning a little bit more about anything really, whether you want to kind of take a cruise or Disney, I could bore you for hours about Disney. We've actually booked our Disney trip for, when is it now? February next year. So we're going to go back to Walt Disney World. It's our first time going back since COVID. We went, literally, I set the business up. So we set the business up in September and we went to Walt Disney World in October. So that was kind of a weird, surreal thing to kind of not quite be full travel agents yet, but kind of just have this new travel business ready to go. So we didn't really go to Walt Disney World at that time with being travel agents in mind. It was just very much like, let's go on a holiday and decompress for this business decision we've made. So we're going back now. We are Disney Vacation Club members. So we basically we joke about it all the time. We own a floor tile in Walt Disney World ultimately. So we own a little timeshare basically in Walt Disney World, and we haven't really used it down to COVID and the aforementioned setting the business up and really struggling to get the business off the ground. So we're treating ourselves now. We'll go in, and today I found out we added on, after much discussion, we added on an extra 3 nights as well. So we're now going for 10 nights to Walt Disney World. We're staying in Wilderness Lodge, and then it just came through today. We've extended on an extra 3 nights, and we're going to stay in the Riviera Resort as well. So 2 Disney Vacation Club resorts, which I'm really excited about because that timeshare cost a fortune. So it's really nice to actually use it for the first time in a long time. So that trip we're planning to do is a bit of a content trip, to be honest, because like I say, the last time we went, we weren't really in the content creation travel agent mindset. So we want to go over there, and as much as we're going for a holiday and we're going to probably eat our way and drink our way around Walt Disney World, we're very much going over there with a mentality to kind of try and film the resorts and showcase to people maybe who can't quite appreciate the sense of scale and size that is Walt Disney World, but also maybe people who just don't know what there is to do in Walt Disney World, and kind of showcase the different resorts, because it can be a bit of a minefield. A lot of people look at the prices of staying on property in Walt Disney World, and they see the price of like the all-star movies and they kind of go like, is it any good? Because the difference in price between the entry-level value resorts right the way up to the deluxe resorts is massive. You can go into like £600+ a night to stay in the deluxe resorts. So is that worth it, and what are the main perks for it, type of thing, and what do you get in? Not that I want to kind of stop you booking with me, but the reason why we took the Disney Vacation Club is because it gave us access to those deluxe resorts for a lot less than we would have had to have paid if we weren't Vacation Club members. So without boring you, I'm not going to sell you the timeshare just because you need to make your own informed decision. I actually made mine when we were on Disney Cruise Line. We were on a transatlantic sailing, and they kind of enticed us in with, you'll get onboard credit if you come to the timeshare presentation. And we went in saying, oh well, that'll get us a couple of cocktails, and we came out with a mortgage for like I say, a tile in Walt Disney World. So you do need to do a lot of research into it to make sure it's right for you, but for us at the time, pre-COVID and on this early journey, it was the right choice for us, and it's finally now worth it. We can basically have a 7-night vacation or holiday to Walt Disney World every year for 50 years that we've bought into, and basically by our maths we would have paid that off within 20 years basically. So from kind of 20 years onwards, we would be traveling for free, at least anyway, to Walt Disney World for how much those vacations or that accommodation would cost us every year for those 20 years. There's other costs you need to be aware of, like management fees and things like that you need to be aware of. So it's not as black and white as that, but it worked out for us. And for what we were paying to stay in a moderate resort, we are now staying in deluxe resorts like the Wilderness Lodge. So for us, it worked out perfectly fine. If you're somebody who wants to go and can commit going to Walt Disney World every year, then it may be worth it if you're somebody who wants to have those luxury resort breaks. If you're somebody who's very much, my hotel is my bed and I couldn't care less where it is, as long as I have a bed to stay in, then it's not going to be worth it for you. I've developed a bit of a reputation for being a bit bougie. So a lot of people are kind of saying to me, like, you always go on bougie holidays. And I'm very much one of those first world problems. I love the fact that our home resort, Copper Creek, which is part of Wilderness Lodge, you can literally take a ferry boat from our resort all the way over to the Magic Kingdom. So that's really nice as well to kind of have that every day. It's really convenient, and more when you feel the benefit is at the end of the day. So after you've had a busy day in Walt Disney World, you can actually take the ferry from the Magic Kingdom straight back to your hotel. You're not having to do the monorail, you're not having to do the ticket and transportation center. It just makes it so much easier, type of thing. So like I say, we were going quite a lot pre-COVID, and it just made sense for us, type of thing. Whether it makes sense for you, you really do need to think about it. But if you've been more than once to Walt Disney World, you're probably aware of what Vacation Club is anyway, and you can go and speak to one of their representatives. But I digress anyway. The reason why we're so excited to go back to Walt Disney World is, for us, the key things are going to be, there's a lot of new attractions, since we went to Walt Disney World. So what are we looking at? We've got Tron, which was being built when we last went. We've got Ratatouille. Now, we have done Ratatouille in Disneyland Paris, so that isn't necessarily new for us, but it's going to be really exciting to go back to Walt Disney World anyway and do kind of Ratatouille. We've got Tron to look forward to. We've got Guardians of the Galaxy, because that was still being built when we last went as well. The all new Epcot, that was new when we were going. The thing I'm looking forward to, and I don't know if you've seen it today, but they've released a trailer for it as well, is the Beacon Barrel, the new lounge in the Magic Kingdom. It's going to be the first time there's going to be an actual cocktail lounge in the Magic Kingdom, and we love the way that Disney do cocktails, so it's going to be really exciting to kind of get there, sorry, and do the lounges in that are coming to the Magic Kingdom. There is also a new lounge as well called Geo 82 in Epcot as well, so I'm really excited and looking forward to getting into that as well. So there's kind of loads of new things to do as well, and lots of updates to the resort. Even our own resort, Copper Creek, has had refurbishments and updates since we went. So again, really looking forward to that as well. The other one as well is, if you want to have a look on our Facebook and our Instagram, which is under Facebook is facebook.com/magical traveler with 2 L's, or magical TRVLR on Instagram. We have recently just come back off sailing Majestic Princess. So we sailed Majestic Princess for 8 nights. We left from, where did we go? We done Barcelona, and we went from Barcelona right the way through to coming back then to Southampton. So it was an 8-night sailing, and we went to Gibraltar, Malaga, Vigo, and Cadiz. Now, I thoroughly loved the port we went to, and I have sailed Princess in the past, and overall we had a really nice time. I'm not going to sit here and say it was a bad time. I just don't think Majestic Princess is the right ship for us. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but I also do a podcast as well with my friends over at Cruising for All. So Sarah, we literally just dropped today the episode where we filmed when we were on board Majestic Princess, where I talk a little bit more kind of candidly, I guess. We were like, should we release this? Because it's quite a negative episode, but it wasn't negative. It was coming from a place of perspective. So we sail quite a lot. We sail with a lot of premium cruise lines. And while overall we had a lovely time sailing with Princess Cruises, there were a few issues for us personally about how we like to enjoy ourselves when we were sailing with Majestic. So the podcast, if you're into cruise and you want to listen to a podcast, Magically Cruising Cruise Podcast is the podcast I do with Sarah. That episode's just gone live, type of thing. And there's also a blog. I put the first batch of the blogs on the website. So if you go to the website and search blogs and then go to our trips, you'll find it on there as well. And it's a bit of an overview of what we got up to the first couple of days. Overall, what I will say for Princess is value for money. You can't beat it. Incredible value for money, especially when you're looking for kind of the premium package. So we had Princess Premier, which gave us unlimited cocktails up to $20. We had our gratuities included, our Wi-Fi included, group fitness classes, which we'd never used, but we had it. At the time, it had premium desserts. They've taken them out of the package. I joked to a colleague about, like, hey, Princess changed the package so much, I'm sure it'll change while we're on board. It didn't change while we were on board. It changed 2 days after when we got off. So that's now longer in the package, type of thing. But for value for money anyway, for how much you pay, that in UK pounds is £75 per person per day. And it meant that, oh, and also the key one, sorry, is unlimited specialty dining. That was the big one. So we were able to do specialty dining for 6 out of the 8 nights we were on board. And then for the 2 nights where we couldn't get specialty dining, we had what they call casual dining. So Alfredo's Pizza and Ocean Terrace, the sushi parlor, we went there for 2 evenings to kind of make up the 2 other nights. So it meant that we didn't have to do we did the main dining room once, sorry, on the whole sailing. So if you're a bit of a foodie and you enjoy specialty dining, personally, I think Virgin Voyages is a better fit overall if you're an adult-only couple. But Princess is a really great value product in the premium category if you're looking to go away and kind of a really great all-inclusive cruise, at least anyway. So they have pros and cons. I think Princess is very relaxed, but is a little bit more traditional than, say, cruise lines like Royal Caribbean, dare I say, Celebrity, and Virgin Voyages as well. So great choice. I'm not knocking it, but I think what I've come to know, I realize I love kind of the way that Virgin Voyages do cruising. So for me, it's really nice to kind of go on board a cruise line. Virgin is adult only, so it's not suitable for every single person, but I do love sailing with Virgin. But specialty dining is included as standard on Virgin. There are no drinks packages, but you do get the bar tabs, so you can kind of put money behind the bar to get drinks. But we've done the maths on it recently, actually, and how much we would normally pay for a 2-week drinks package versus buying 2 or 3 bar tabs. We actually spend less on Virgin than we would on another cruise line when we have to pay for the drinks package for the whole duration. So it's worth having a look and comparing them. It sounds bad at first, but once you get used to how the bar tab works, it's actually better off for you. You'll get Wi-Fi included, gratuities included. And the key thing that annoyed me the entire time we were on Virgin was water. And in the past, I've never been somebody that was like, oh, I need access to water all the time because I'm really bad at remembering to drink it. But going on a cruise line where water isn't in your cabin automatically, and also where there's no water fountains dotted around the ship, just really irritated me all of a sudden. You could order it within our drinks package. If you didn't have the drinks package, you had to pay per bottle, which was really odd to kind of pay for water on a cruise ship when I've gone on cruise lines like Disney and Virgin, where soft drinks are included for free anyway. So that was irritating. And then the other one that irritated me was it was all single-use plastic as well, which just irritated me no end. And I thought it was a bit of a shame as well for a modern contemporary cruise line as well that's in the premium category to use a lot of single-use plastic, especially for water, which I think is a basic essential that all cruise lines should have. Now, you could always go up to the buffet and get water anyway and kind of fill your fountain up in the fountain, but you had to go to the buffet station to do that. It just, I don't know, like I say, I've been spoiled by Virgin. Virgin do it so much better, so it was just a bit frustrating to kind of go and just kind of take a step back, it felt like, a little bit, which I shouldn't really be saying that, should I? I should be selling you as to how amazing Princess is, but I was a little bit like, other cruise lines do some of these elements better, but Princess on the whole, for how much you pay to get to kind of Princess Plus or Princess Premier and have kind of that dining, Wi-Fi gratuities and all that type of stuff, will be cheaper in comparison, and is multi-generational as well. And I do say this on the podcast, I do think Princess go to a lot more ports than someone like Virgin Voyages do, but that's because they've got considerably more ships. So they've got more fleet ships to send to more ports. So one thing, and I say this on the podcast all the time, cruise is so wonderful because there is a cruise for everyone. So if you think you may be interested in a cruise, don't be put off by seeing one type of cruise. And we actually talk about it on the podcast we've just filmed that goes out in 2 weeks' time, because we're comparing basically the whole Princess experience to another cruise line experience. And it's not that any one cruise line is better or worse than others. There's a cruise line for everyone. It just depends on what type of cruise you like, whether you want something a little bit more contemporary and a bit more fun, like Royal Caribbean, which has, giant slides on it. It has water parks and things like that on their Royal Caribbean, for example, as well. They have bumper cars and go-karts on board. They've got those modern features like that are really great for the whole family. Or you've got someone that offers a bit more timeless cruising. So if you're somebody that maybe wants to have sorry, I got distracted then by a message. Somebody who likes to have traditional dining, if you get what I mean, and you like to go and like dress up on form one night and things like that, then Cunard is a fantastic choice. Now, I had a wonderful time on Cunard. I can't say anything bad about Cunard. However, for how I personally like to do my cruises, I prefer something a bit more relaxed and a bit more casual. I actually found Cunard wasn't the right fit for me. I didn't have a bad time. Happily sell it and happily recommend it to hundreds of people, but it's not the right cruise line for me because I personally can't be bothered to get dressed up in a formal suit and have to dress up to go to dinner type of thing. I very much like to dress up in my own style, put on like, a colourful shirt or a floral shirt, Hawaiian shirt, something sparkly, if you get what I mean, and just dress up in a style that I think is a bit more my personality rather than dress up in a dinner suit and a jacket and a tie and things like that. Again, it wasn't bad, just wasn't me. So again, that's just an example, the two polar opposites. You can have a water park, you can have laser tag, go-karts, dodgems, surf simulators, all that type of stuff. And you can also have really great dining, relaxing environment where you're going to have a bit more timeless experience on board. There are lots of different pockets along that way as well, be it kind of budget, be it kind of premium, be it ultra luxury. There's a cruise for everyone. So if you look and you see something like Icon of the Seas, or you go and look at kind of the Oasis class by Royal Caribbean, and you kind of go like, oh no, there's too loud, there's too much going on for me. There's cruise lines along the way leading up to those as well. So we can definitely work to kind of find you what cruise line's right for you. So yeah, anyway, guys, I'm going to leave this here now. I think I'm going to see about whether or not I'm going to do this a weekly thing. I'm going to try and work out why YouTube hasn't worked, and why Facebook hasn't worked, because it's saying it's sending it to it, but I've looked and it's not live. So need to work out what that is. But I hope you've enjoyed this on TikTok. Anyway, this is my first time going live on TikTok properly, other than just sharing a few glimpses. So I'll have a little bit of a play about with this now that I've broken the seal, as I like to say, and got over the fear of doing this, because I've always wanted to do this. I may do a bit more of an organized thing where maybe I talk about what offers and what's popular and what's not. But yeah, I don't know how this has gone. I don't know what you think about it. I have to get over that fear, I guess, of going live, isn't it? But I just thought I'd share a little bit of an update of where we are, what's popular and what's not been popular, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.